We're never promised that following Jesus will save us from suffering. On the contrary, God tells us not to be surprised when we suffer because we follow Jesus. The Bible even goes as far to tell you to rejoice when we suffer as a Christian because it's an honor to bear that name. Now here's the thing. In Orange County, California, where I live, we don't suffer much for being a Christian. Listen to the perspective that we get from Mark, who's an elder at Friends Church, and he also leads our ministry to the homeless.
We are never promised that following Jesus will save us from suffering. On the contrary, God tells us not to be surprised when we suffer because we follow Jesus. The Bible even goes as far as to tell us to rejoice when we suffer as a Christian because it's an honor to bear that name. Now here's the thing. In Orange County, California, we do not suffer much for being a Christian. When I go to church, I sit in a comfy seat in an air-conditioned room listening to amazing musicians and hearing from talented communicators. I may receive some flack for believing in Jesus, but that is not the same as suffering. Around the world, Christians are suffering. Every day, 13 Christians worldwide are killed because of their faith. Every day, 12 churches or Christian buildings are attacked, and every day, 12 Christians are unjustly arrested or imprisoned. 309 million Christians live in places with very high or extreme levels of persecution. So what am I to do when I read the Bible and it addresses suffering that doesn't seem to apply to me? Of course, I should pray for my brothers and sisters who are suffering. I am to share my resources with them as well. But there is something I can do that is a little closer to home. I can serve people in my own backyard who are suffering. In Galatians 6:10, I am called to do good to all people when the opportunity presents itself. And there are opportunities all around us. The question is, will we take advantage of those opportunities? An interesting thing happens when we physically serve those who are suffering. First, we identify with them. This allows us to in turn identify with the sufferings of Christ. Secondly, we naturally break down any barriers that exist between you and the group you are serving, while simultaneously bringing a deeper sense of unity with the group you are serving with. In a world that is consistently broken and disjointed, Christ provides opportunity for unity that comes through service. We serve, but in the process, we end up getting so much more than we end up giving. Lastly, serving the suffering strengthens us for when we suffer ourselves. It prepares us so that when we are tested, we stand strong. It would be silly to respond to scriptures about suffering by intentionally putting ourselves through suffering. But it's appropriate to apply the Word of God about suffering by serving those who are hurting. John 15:12 says, "This is my commandment, love each other just as I have loved you." God has not only called us to serve, but He has given us the example of service in the form of His Son, Jesus Christ. I can tell you that personally in my life, nothing has cut through the noise and the craziness of this world while at the same time causing me to grow as a child of God than serving those around me. I think that is the case for me and so many others because God has created us in His image. An image that reflects Jesus who gave His life for us. An image that cannot be complete in our lives unless we go out and serve others. So go out and serve, complete the work that God originally started in your life, and find the true joy that can only be found in the giving of yourself to those who are suffering around you.